Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it out. Tonight, we gonna let it out. Tonight, we gonna let it out. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it out. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up. Tonight, we gonna let it up, babe. Tonight, we gonna let it up. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it up.
I'm little. There I am. I'm just turning on my light. I forgot to turn on one of the lights. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. It's good to see you guys tonight. Can you guys give me just one quick moment? Of course. Hold on 1 second. I already made you guys wait enough, but give me 5 seconds. Okay, sorry. Like right before the live, I swear my allergies, like they start to act up. So I just had to blow my nose really quick. I just didn't want to blow it on camera right in front of everybody, you know. So how's everybody doing? Welcome in. We hit 20,000. My balloons are back here. They're not looking very great. I could fix them, but the dog's kind of terrified of them right now. So I might just leave them there and mess with them in a minute. But they didn't have a K. So the K that I was going to get was going to be too small. So I just didn't get it. But we got the 2, we got the 0, and we got a little congratulations balloon. The dog hates balloons. I forgot. We haven't had balloons in a while. So she's kind of hanging out. I should have actually tied them to that little dog down there. It's like a ceramic dog, but it's like a balloon dog that's supposed to look like a balloon animal. That would have been a cute idea. I'll have to do that. But thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. And thanks for, helping me make it to 20,000 subscribers. That's a lot of people, That's a lot of people. And hopefully you guys are having great weather where you guys are, because it's been freezing here in Ohio. I don't know what is going on. I thought it was Memorial Day weekend, and I've got a sweater over me. Like, it's crazy. So let me know if it's cold where you are. Let's get drunk. Oh, Aries, are you drinking? Party all night. Uh-oh. If Aries is out, this is going to be a good live. But thank you guys so much for being here. I won't go through the whole chat since I made you guys wait, but I will put the comments on the screen. I forgot to do that. They should start rolling it in. We will do some giveaways this evening throughout the live. We're going to do one for the members, and we're going to do one for the subscribers. And it's going to be like subscribers or a member if you're either or. And then we'll do one for the members. So when it's time for me to do the members only, what I'll do is I'll just turn the chat on members only for a minute, and then we'll do the giveaway that way. I was trying to figure out the best way to do it. And the giveaway will be gift cards. I'll send you like a Visa gift card. I think we'll do, for tonight, we'll do two $25 gift cards, and then I'll send it to you tomorrow. You just email me. So when we go to do the giveaway, if you're not familiar with the channel, hi, hello, my name is Tanya. We do talk true crime here daily on the channel. Tonight is a bigger occasion, I guess. It's the weekend after we've hit 20,000 subscribers. So I wanted to do a giveaway, and I wanted to do a giveaway anyway with you guys for the members. So why not do it together, you know? So we're going to do one for subscribers/members, and then one for members only. And we'll do them throughout the live. Don't let me forget to put it on members only though, because then I'll be like, I'll forget. And I think that like Ladybug and Mary Beth, I think you should be good, even though like you're a mod. I think that you'll go under the members. So it's hot in South Florida. It is not hot here. I went and I sat by the pool today. It was 68. The wind was kind of blowing. It was a little chilly. I didn't care. Though. But welcome in, everybody. It's good to see everyone. Oh, well, let me actually grab this really quick. Pin this at the top. And we're going to talk a little Idaho this evening. I actually, I did we on the channel throughout like the couple of years, year and a half we've been covering this case. There's been a couple podcasts that we've listened to on the channel. And then a lot of people have been asking me, like, not a lot of people, but people have asked me about the podcast, like where they can find them. And when we were doing the podcast, we were doing them when they were coming out. So now that they're all out, we can go back through them and kind of see what we knew or what we were hearing back in the beginning of the case. And I thought that would be a good refresher. And then I'll have them all in a playlist for you guys as well. So it's just easier for everybody, just a little easier. 79 and sunny near Boise. That's pretty nice. Thanks, Anna. Man, 85. Oh, I bet it's hot, DM, in Florida. I mean, my family lives down there. I don't know. They love it. I bet it's good for the bones. My bones have been hurting me, like my legs. Ugh, yeah. I'm like, this isn't good. I knew the time would come, but I'm not ready for it. You know, just not ready. Your favorite uncle. I like that name. Muggy. Yeah. How's it down there, Ashley, where you live? Is it hot? Probably hot. Okay. Pull this up for us. So tonight we've had a few different, actually, I'm going to go over my notes, but I'm going to pull this up as well. Cause I finally got this house thing to work. I was so excited because for the longest time, this, mock house that I can't pronounce. I think it's Kula put together. I couldn't get it to work. It wouldn't work on my computer. I tried it on Google or Chrome. I tried it on like Safari. I tried on everything. It just was not working for me. Now it is. So we're good to go there because it's a lot better if I can give you a visual, you know? But the University of Idaho murders case involving the November 13th, 2022 stabbing deaths of 4 University of Idaho students, Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, Zana Kernodle, and her boyfriend, Ethan Chapin. And we're going to go over the timeline tonight, and we're going to go over some updates that are newer, you know, that we've been kind of discussing. So, but I will give you some trial details. I'm going to look up. If you see me looking up, I'm looking up at my notes. But Brian Koberger is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of felony burglary. He is scheduled for trial starting as of right now, August 11th, 2025. Still that on the docket when I looked today. In Boise, Idaho, under Judge Stephen Hippler. The trial was moved from Latah County to Ada County due to the defense motions for a change of venue, citing potential bias. Jury selection is set to begin July 30th, 2025. And with the trial expected to last about 3 months, they said. It's going to be a long trial. But I mean, I guess if they're going to say it's going to be that long, I mean, it is a death penalty case and they must have a lot of evidence they want to show. This is, like I said, a death penalty case. So prosecutors are seeking the death penalty. We're just going to have to see where it goes from there. So they are going to have court Monday through Friday, and it's going to be from 8:45 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. That way people can leave the courthouse and go and do what they need to do before the end of the day, which I think that's good when they do that. But if they have to sequester them, then I would just be like really upset, you know? Like I'd be like, that gives me an hour. Like I would not want to be sequestered. I just wouldn't. I would hate that. But recent developments on May 15th, Judge Hippler ordered both the prosecution and the defense to preserve records following an apparent leak of details on Dateline NBC. They raised concerns about prejudicial publicity. The defense filed a motion to delay the trial, citing the media exposure as potentially harmful to Kohberger's rights to a fair trial. So they are, requesting that either the trial be delayed, they want a continuance, an indefinite. I think the wording was like indefinite continuance or something like that. Sorry, can't do that for you, Anne. But I feel like in a lot of cases, things get out before the trial. Now, I don't know, was that all their evidence that they had against Brian? I mean, what was so... Like, what I wonder what piece of evidence the prosecution saw flash up on Dateline screen and they were like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't want that out. Like, was it the surveillance of the car going around King Road? Was it the searches on the internet, the pictures on his phone, the pool party? I mean, a lot of this stuff we kind of knew about anyway. Like, we had seen a still of the video camera. We knew that there was a light bulb camera at 1112 King Road. I mean, everybody knew that for the most part. You know what I mean? You think it was the car? I was thinking the car too. Like, maybe they didn't want that little piece out. But I don't know. Yeah, they want everyone to preserve their records. Like, they want, no, you cannot delete anything. And I've heard of that on like YouTube. Like, if I know of like someone suing somebody, defamation or something, and they have to preserve their records, so they can't like delete any videos and stuff like that. Which it's easy to tell if someone's deleted videos. You just go to Social Blade and you just look them up there. I wanted to check something out really quick. Okay, I got you guys all up, so we'll go ahead and we'll get into things since I've been talking to you guys for a while. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. So if you guys haven't seen this, it is, I think it's called Kula, but I could put the link in the chat for you guys. Basically, it is a, we'll go back outside the house. It shows you the King Road residence because it's no longer there. Obviously, they tore it down, but it says it right there. It's been demolished. But it gives you everything that you need to know kind of about the case and the crime scene. And you can navigate around through there and you can look at pictures. You can stand in different spots throughout the house. It's kind of going to be like what their mock house is going to look like. They're one that they're going to bring into court, which this one might be a better option. I mean, you could see it up high on a screen. I don't know. I don't know about I think the mock house is an awesome idea. I hope it's just big enough for everybody to see it, And yes, Ladybug, thank you. Smash the like if you don't mind. Oh yeah, all those selfies. Remember, they put out a bunch. Oh no, I'm sorry, Boo. Tell her I'm praying for Ash. Man. She wants a Dollywood though? I bet you that was fun. Okay. So we can go and we can maneuver around this house sometime outside of it and stuff. And I'll show you like all the different things because you can go down, the road. You can go if you want to go over here, you can go towards Taylor Avenue to go like Sigma Chi House. You can go like pretty much anywhere. There's like little drone footage. Some of these are just like photos of the outside of the house. This is of like the side or the back. And then this is the kind of the side and the back of the house. So whenever you enter in, I'm just going to turn it around here because I think nope, it's not on the wall anymore. It used to be on the wall. This used to be on the wall. Okay, so I wanted to go over the detailed timeline with you guys. I think I had it. Nope, I didn't. I had it pulled up at one point. I guess I took it down. Let me see if I can make it bigger. I had it bigger earlier. I don't know how I did it. Maybe if I just move me. We'll just move me around. That way it's bigger. Okay. So this is the original timeline. So actually I got this timeline. This is off of the app, but Sleuthy put this together back in 2022, 2023. She put this together and I asked her for it. It's been some months ago and she sent it right over to me. And then I just never, I never ended up going through it with you guys for some reason. We used a different site, but I thought that this would be a good idea just to kind of go back and see what we knew back then in 2022 compared to what we know now, because we know a lot more now, I feel like. And I don't know. I just feel like there's just a lot more things to complain about now that there's more stuff out. Okay. So it's going to have, if you guys aren't familiar with like how this little chart works, it's just going to have the month, the day, and the year, and then it's going to have the time in some of them. Others don't have the time because it's just a general, statement. But it says here that in 2015 is when the nurse went on the Tinder date with the Idaho suspect. And it says Idaho suspect. Am I going to okay, I was wondering how to scroll over. Okay. I don't know how to work this thing. Shoot. I'm trying to figure out how to make it bigger. I know there was a way to do it earlier, I thought. Maybe this. There we go. Okay, cool. Okay, that's better. Here we go. Share this with you. Okay, there we go. Now we can see all of it on the screen. That makes it a lot better for everybody. So Koberger went on that Tinder date with that nurse. I think this is going to be the YouTube video of her. So let me see. Let's see if we can open it.
When
we can. So
of Idaho murder suspect Brian Koberger was arrested. This woman couldn't believe her eyes.
I recognized him immediately and my heart just sank because I couldn't believe that. Like I was face to face with this guy.
Nurse Haley Willett says they met on Tinder in 2015 when they were both psych majors at Pennsylvania colleges. He took her to a movie, then insisted on escorting her to her dorm room.
I was kind of afraid to say no, so I just let him come in with me.
Then he did something she says she'll never forget.
He kept trying to tickle me and I would ask him to stop, or I'd say, "What are you doing?" And he would be like, I'm not tickling you. And he would get very serious.
Creeped out by Koberger, she came up with a clever ruse.
I proceeded to pretend to throw up in the bathroom, hoping that, it would gross him out and he would leave.
Did it work?
Yeah. He had messaged me on Tinder and said that he was leaving and that he had a good time and that he would message me later. And then about an hour later, he messaged me and he said that I had good birthing hips. And I just never messaged him back after that.
Good birthing hips. This is like the first thing that we found out about him. Like one of the first things, like he does say some odd. I mean, if it's true what he wrote to that other girl, that is kind of odd. I don't care what anyone says. That's my favorite activity. That's one of my favorite activities. No one says activity. Nobody. Even people that are doing activities are just calling them activities at his age.
After what happened to the 4 Idaho students, Haley thinks she had a lucky escape.
It could have been me.
And this woman says she knows and sympathizes with what Dylan Mortensen is going through. Dylan is one of the 2 surviving roommates and didn't call 911 for 8 hours, despite coming face to face with the killer. She told police she was in frozen shock.
She is not to blame for anything. Absolutely not.
Alana Zabel is a yoga instructor who attended Buffalo University in New York. She lived with 4 sorority sisters and suffered an eerily similar trauma. One night in 1992, a rapist broke into their home and attacked a student. Alana heard the attack, saw evidence that there had been a break-in, and even saw bloodstains, yet she convinced herself nothing was wrong.
I felt someone in my room, and I lifted up my head, and there was no one there, but then the front door closed.
She waited 6 hours to call 911 and will never forget the horrific scene she found in her housemate's bedroom.
Her mattress was 3/4 of the way soaked with blood. The walls were covered in blood. Everything was covered in blood.
She says the murders of the 4 students in Idaho brought back nightmarish memories. She fears Dylan, the surviving roommate, is likely to be traumatized for years to come.
She's going to beat herself up for the rest of her life, so we don't need to do that for her.
The attorney represents.
That is true, you know. I mean, she's on survivor's guilt. I know I would. I mean, you know. Just that's sad. Okay. I'm just going to kind of go through these. So May 29th, 2018. So 3 years later, Brian Kohlberger graduates from Northampton Community College in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania with an associate degree in psychology. In 2021, Brian Kohlberger works as a security guard for Pleasant Valley School District in Broadheadsville, Pennsylvania, where his mother was listed as a paraprofessional. I don't know what a paraprofessional is. I would assume that's like working in the office or something. So then May 1st, 2022 at 11:28 a.m., 19-year-old, Hudson R. Lido, Sigma Chi member, found deceased in Paradise Creek. And then May 21st, 2022, so Brian Kohlberger graduates from DeSales University. June 1st, 2022, Kaylee Gonzalez starts her job at Extreme Networks as an intern on the U.S. commercial team working for Jeremiah Shea. And it says she was going to be, looks like commercial sales head. June 2022, Brian Kohlberger moves to his apartment at 1630 Northeast Valley Road, apartment G201, and it's in Pullman. June 23rd, 2022, Brian opens a cell phone account with AT&T in his own name, registered to Albrightsville, Pennsylvania address. So June 23rd, he's in Washington setting up a phone in his name, but registering the address all the way in Pennsylvania. That would be kind of weird. I would ask, I'd be like, why do you have to do that? Oh, sorry. I actually missed one. So June 5th. So right before he did that with the phone, some of the victims began their lease at 1122 King Road. And that would have been Maddie, Xana, and it looks like Bethany. And then August 16th, the officers are at 1122 King Road for a noise complaint. And that was FOIA'd. I'm pretty sure the video is out there. I don't know if you guys have seen the video, but there was a video of a noise complaint. I don't think it would be under this, though. No, it would. Let me know if you haven't seen it. Oh, would like the extra help? Oh, PKC, thanks. And welcome in, everybody. Wow. Really? Really? I thought that I thought that it sounded familiar, but I would have never known what movie it was from. because I don't think I've ever seen that movie, but the quote, or what like, I don't know, good birthing hips, that sounds familiar. Like, I don't know, like, I've never, but yeah, wow. Look at Cat K using Google. Look at you over there. I haven't seen that movie, but I feel like we need to have like a movie night. It's crazy. Look at you being sleuthy. Johnny Depp. Wonder what Dark Shadows is about. I feel like we need to watch it. 18th century Maine. Okay, it says presides over the town of Collinsport. A rich and powerful playboy, Barnabas, seals his own doom when he breaks the heart of a witch named Angelique. Angelique turns Barbados into a vampire and buries him alive. 2 centuries later, Barbados, I'm probably saying that wrong, escapes from his tomb and finds 1972 Collinsport a very different place. His once grand estate has fallen to ruin, and the dysfunctional remnants of his family have fared little better. Oh, it's like kind of like a, what's that? It's reminding me of like Addams Family vibes. 2012. Okay. This is what I was reading from. He looks spooky though. Yeah, I'm cool on that. That's spooky. Okay, now I'm looking at where were we? Okay. Kohlberger likes movies, I guess. So then it goes to August 21st. So he gets the phone in June, and in August 21st, Kohlberger's phone is utilizing cellular resources that provide coverage to the King Road residents. And this is coming from the PCA, page 16. Then on the same date at so at 10:34 p.m. to 11:35 p.m., Kohlberger's phone is utilizing the cellular resources to King Road. So late at night. At 11:37, Farm Road and Pullman Highway, Latah County Sheriff's Department Deputy Corporal Duke pulls over a 2015 white Hyundai Elantra with Pennsylvania plate, and it's his license plate, set to expire on 11/30/2022, being driven by Brian Kohlberger. August 23rd at 10:35 a.m., a couple days later, first day of class for 3 courses at WSU that Brian Kohlberger was a TA for. September 1st at 8:34 p.m., there is a noise complaint at 1122 King Road. And then on the September 2nd at 12:36 a.m., there's a noise complaint. September 12th, 2022 at 8:05 p.m., there's a man threatens a group of students with a knife on Paradise Path between the Student Rec Center and the University Steam Plant near the LLC parking lot 14. The white man appeared to be 18 to 22 years old in all black with a black baseball cap. He was last seen heading east on Paradise Path, riding a mountain bike with a blue backpack. They did identify him. Okay. I was like, did they identify him? They did. So that same day at 9:39, Van Doller is sent out to the University of Idaho, advising keeping doors locked and staying inside. Man, that would be nerve-wracking. September 24th, Kohlberger pays $10 for a seatbelt ticket in Moscow by Latah County Sheriff's Office. Man, he is getting it. He gets pulled over like a lot. Like a whole lot. He's got to be the most, either he gets caught every time, or he just needs to not be driving or something. I don't think he's going to be driving, but He might be. You never know. But he does get pulled over a lot. And like, it's stupid tickets, like seatbelt and crap. Like, put your seatbelt on, dude. Just put your seatbelt on. Kohlberger applies for an internship with the Pullman Police Department, and that is on October the 12th. So October 12th, 2022 at 7 p.m. Or wait, no, I'm sorry. That was a different, okay, I'm sorry. It just says fall. I was going to say, if he run in there at 7 p.m., that'd be bad. That 7 p.m. is the Moscow Film Society and University of Idaho Film and Television Department presents Scream. So then, I got to move my cup. October the 14th, 2022 at 4:32 p.m., Kohlberger's background, it says WSU police officer pulls over a 2015 white Hyundai Elantra with PA plates, his plates driven by Brian Kohlberger. And that's the one that I do think that's the one we see. November 11th, 2022. Actually, that's like, yeah, that's the one that we do see. Okay. Kaylee buys her Range Rover, then heads to Moscow for Pi Phi party and shows off her car. And that's on November the 11th. That's when she buys it. Then WSU Parents Weekend, day number 1 is that weekend. Veterans Appreciation Dinner 2022 at the new ICCU Arena, main campus. November 12th, 2022. WSU Parents Weekend, day number 2. Wonder why Brian's parents didn't go out for Parents Weekend. Like, I mean, maybe because like he hadn't been out there that long, but like, and he was going to be going home. I guess, he was going to be coming back in December, but I don't know. That's probably why, I would say, because that'd be a lot of money. So then November 12th, so at 9 a.m., or it doesn't actually have a time, sorry, so 0 time. This is the activity for Maddie and Xana and Kaylee. Kaylee posted her very last Instagram post, photos of all the roommates together. Ethan captioned, "One lucky girl to be surrounded by these people every day." At 9 a.m., Idaho Vandal Jackets Lumberjack Classic, chopping, cross-cut saw, chainsaw events, axe throwing, choker race, obstacle pole climbing, K-bar, but it's K-bar, toss, and more. Okay. At 10:31 a.m., Maddie paid Kaylee with a note for Venmo, and it said coffee. At 10:59 a.m., Ethan paid Kaylee with a note. It said thank you. At 11:10 a.m., Ethan paid Kaylee with a note that said, yeah. And then at 12:30 p.m., WSU versus Arizona State. It's a home game. And then at 2:30 p.m., Kaylee called her mom after sending pictures and telling her about how much fun she and Maddie had at the Pi Beta Phi party last night. At 4 o'clock, the final Vandal football home game against UC Davis starts. So big weekends for both schools. They both had home games, and they were both like during the day. That's probably why it was so dang quiet at night. You know what I mean? Like that late at night, because everybody was partying throughout the whole day because of the games. That's what I would think anyway. Then at 8:40 p.m., Ethan Chapin makes Venmo payment, final activity, to Jack K with a note that says thanks. At 9 p.m., Bethany Funk observes Ethan Chapin and Xander Kernodle at the Sigma Chi house at 735 Perez Drive. At 10 p.m. to 1:30 a.m., Kaylee Gonzalez and Madison Mogan are observed on CCTV footage inside the Corner Club at 202 North Main Street. At 10:04 to 10:16 p.m., Officer Tashidi and Officer, okay, I can't pronounce her names, on Deacon Avenue with the male and female that were walking, issued MIC citations to female. I don't know what MIC is. minor intoxicated. Maybe. 10:15, Kaylee and Madison are picked up from their house by a private driver, Eric Growler. At 10:20, Maddie and Kaylee arrive at the Corner Club. And then November 13th, 2022, WSU Parents Weekend starts, day 3 at midnight. So at midnight, Xander Kernodle speaks to her father, Jeffrey, for the last time and states that she told him she was hanging out at home with her boyfriend. At 1 a.m., Dylan and Bethany arrive home. At 1:30 a.m., Kaylee Cazaves and Madison Mogan are seen on Twitch live stream at the Grub Truck at 318 South Main Street. Yeah, people leave notes on the Venmo and stuff now. I mean, it's just like their way of like texting almost. I'm not used to it. I'm still a PayPal kind of gal, I don't even know if I have a Venmo. I think I do. I don't know. I don't even know. I really don't. But I know that it is like easy to put in like a little message and then it'll like help you remember, for your bills and stuff too. So we were down here. At 1:41, Maddie and Kaylee appear on camera arriving at the Grub Truck. 1:45, Bethany Funk estimates that Ethan Chapin and Xander Kernodle returned to the King Road residence. At 1:45, Kaylee notifies the private driver that she needs a ride. At 1:49 a.m., private party driver arrives at the Grub Truck to pick up Madison and Kaylee. 1:56, a private party, Eric Growler, reported that he dropped off Kaylee and Maddie at their King Road residence. At 2 a.m., both Dylan and Bethany made statements during interviews that indicated the occupants of the King Road were all home at this time. 2:26 a.m., Kaylee's first call to ex-boyfriend Jack D. So she gets home at like 2 o'clock, takes the dog out, I'm sure. It's probably like one of the first thing that she does. Eats her food. And then I think that's when she decides to call Jack. Because I think that they even said when they were at the Corner Club, they were trying to get him to stay out with them longer. And he didn't want to. So I think she was calling to say, like, it's my last weekend in town. Come and hang out. Or let me come hang out with you. Or, whatever. So BK's phone at 2:42 a.m., BK's phone using cellular resources at his residence. That's when he starts pinging. Then Kaylee makes 4 additional calls to ex-boyfriend Jack D for a total of 5. At 2:44, white sedan consistent with description of the white Elantra known as Suspect Vehicle 1 is observed on WSU CCTV traveling north on Southeast Nevada Street to Northeast Stadium Way. Kaylee calls ex-boyfriend, this is at 2:44, Jack a 6th time. Madison tries to also call Jack D twice. 2:45 to 3:15 a.m., white/light colored sedan seen on CCTV, traveling west on Taylor Avenue towards the crime scene per landlord Kane Franchetic. I can't pronounce these last names at all. Like not even a little. If I got 1 out of 15 right, I'd be good. So sorry for the people that I'm butchering your name. I don't mean to. So BK's phone at 2:47 is using cellular resources southeast of BK's residence, consistent with the phone leaving and traveling south through Pullman. At 2:47, the phone stops reporting to the network, consistent with either the phone being in the area with no cellular coverage, connection to the network is disabled, like airplane mode, or the phone is off. And we all know that the phone was turned off. So then at 2:50, the officer Tassidi and Rosati are in plain clothes and an unmarked police car in the parking lot at 701 West Taylor Avenue when they observe 3 males walking towards Banfield. These were the undercover cops, which they're undercover cops. You can always tell when they're undercover, especially at a college university. I don't know. Maybe I got good eye, but I can spot them out a mile away. They're usually not like, I don't know. They stand out of, they're out of place. There's usually a couple of them. They're always together. They're always wearing like clothes that are just a little bit outdated. Like nobody be wearing that. Like, but not really outdated, but enough to like have you side eyeing them. I don't know. I've spotted a few undercovers in my day. Didn't get in trouble neither. Didn't get in any trouble. Well, they tried to get me in trouble once, but I was like, not today. Yeah, so the grub truck was the one that had the Twitch feed. Remember that? That was crazy when we like first got that video. Because it was, we were seeing them live well, right? You know what I mean? Like not doing anything that they shouldn't be doing. Going and getting food, and being very polite, except for Maddie, she was a little fireball. But yeah, I've been on Maddie's level of drunk before, where you're kind of walking and you don't even know where, like you're not paying attention to people around you. You're just living your life. So then it says here that that's when they observed, the three males that were walking through the Banfield. At 2:52, so around the same time, Maddie and Kaylee both attempt a final time to call Jack D for a total of 10 calls between them both. At 2:53 a.m., suspect vehicle 1 observed traveling southeast on Nevada Street in Pullman, Washington, towards State Route 270, which connects Pullman to Moscow. 3 o'clock to 4 a.m., previously reported time of death for all 4 victims, all the way up until PCA is released. 3 to 5 a.m., BK's phone does not use cellular tower resources in close proximity to the King Road residence. That's because he's back home. At 3:01, the officers make contact with the 3 males and issue all 3 MIC citations. I think that's like minor intoxication or something. It's not open container. I don't know what that is. At 3:26, a white sedan, suspect vehicle 1 is seen traveling westbound in a 700 block of Indian Hills Drive. 3:28, suspect vehicle 1 traveling westbound on Steiner Avenue and Idaho State Highway 95. At 3:29 to 4:20, multiple sightings of suspect vehicle 1 making 3 passes by the 1122 King Road residence and leaving via Walenta Drive. At the same time, at 3:32, so in the middle of this time, the 2 officers leave the area of West Taylor Avenue. At 3:45, it's crazy. At 3:45, the white sedan seen on gas station CCTV driving by real quick and turning down a side street off of Highway 8, never stated to be suspect vehicle 1 by law enforcement. At 4 a.m., both Dylan and Bethany made statements during interviews that all occupants of the home, with the exception of Kernodle, were asleep or at least in their rooms. Also at 4, investigators believe the homicides begin. At 4 o'clock, Xander Kernodle receives a DoorDash delivery at the residence. And at 4 a.m., Dylan was sleeping in her second floor bedroom when she was awakened by what she states sounds like Kaylee playing with her dog in one of the upstairs, the 3rd floor bedrooms. So then at 4:04, suspect vehicle 1 enters the area 4th time proceeding eastbound on King Road. Suspect vehicle 1 appears to unsuccessfully attempt to park or turn around in front of 1122 King Road. Suspect vehicle 1 continues to the intersection of Queen Road and King Road, where it could be seen completing a 3-point turn and then driving back down, like towards Queen Road, back towards the house. At 4:12, Dylan opens her door and hears what she thinks is Kaylee say something to the effect of "there's someone here." At 4:12, Xana is awake and using the TikTok app. At 4:13, Dylan opens her door and hears what she thinks is crying coming from Xana's room, and a male voice says something to the effect of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." She then closes her door. At 4:17, the camera at 1112 King Road picks up dog barking numerous times, distorted audio of what sounds like voices, or a whimper and a thud. That was on the Dateline episode also. Remember? That was pretty powerful. Like, you could hear the dog barking and stuff. I mean, it doesn't sound like an excited dog neither. Do you know what I mean? It sounds like it's like a panic dog. Definitely doesn't sound like this dog back here right now. My goodness, this dog back here's, I don't know if you can see her, but she's passed out. Give you a little break there for a minute. She just opened her eyes really big. She's silly. Okay, so 4:20, suspect vehicle 1 is seen departing the area. I'm sorry, let's go back. So sorry. At 4:18, Dylan opens her door for a third time and sees a figure clad in black walking towards her. At 4:20, suspect vehicle 1 is seen departing the area of the King Road residence at a high rate of speed. We've now seen that on video. At 4:21, suspect vehicle 1 travels southbound on Wallansa Drive, likely exiting the neighborhood up Powroose River Drive and Conestoga Drive. At 4:25, investigators believe the homicides were over. At 4:48, Kohlberger's phone is using cellular resources in the area of Idaho State Highway 95 near Blaine, Idaho, north of Genesee. At 4:50 to 5:26 a.m., BK's phone using resources consistent with traveling south on Idaho Highway 95 to Genesee, traveling west towards Uniontown, Idaho, and then north back to Pullman, Washington. I mean, why would you drive like that? I mean, I know why I know why he probably did, but people that think that Brian, like, there's no way he did this, no way, no how, not going to even, not even going to think of that. Why did he do all that extra driving then? Why didn't he just go straight back home? Like, I mean, if he was just taking a night ride, right? Looking at the stars, stargazing, if you will. Probably because he wasn't stargazing. At 5:25, suspect vehicle 1 observed at 1300 Johnson Road in Pullman. Same time, suspect vehicle 1 is observed driving northbound on Johnson Road. At 5:26, suspect vehicle 1 is seen turning north on Bishop Boulevard. It's a pretty tight timeline. 5:27, White Elantra seen on camera traveling northbound on Stadium Way at Nevada Street, Stadium Way at Grimes Way, Stadium Drive at Wilson Road, and Stadium Way at Cougar Way. Those cameras are going to be so good. He might as well just walk into Walmart. I mean, these are that's a college campus camera. They're gonna be pretty good cameras. So at 5:30, BK's phone is utilizing cellular resources that provide coverage to Pullman, Washington, consistent with the phone traveling back to BK's residence. Now, I'm wondering if was there no way for him to get from his apartment out of Pullman? Like, you know what I mean? Without going through campus? Like, there was no side roads or anything, like, to not be seen on every camera and on the whole campus? I mean, you would think. So then at 6:47 a.m. is a sunrise. 9 a.m., BK's phone utilizing cellular resources that are consistent with the phone leaving his residence and traveling to Moscow. It's like, you got home about 5:30. What is that? 6:30? 7:38. What, 3.5 hours? What do you do for 3.5 hours? You're not sleeping, because then you'd fall asleep and you wouldn't be able to wake up. You know what I mean? Like, that wouldn't be good. So what, are you manic? Are you cleaning this time? Would the lady downstairs know? Because she knows when you were awake and when you weren't awake. Wonder if she heard the vacuum cleaner going. I mean, I don't know. I'm just curious what you would do to occupy your time for that long. Because I mean, if I unalive 4 people, right? went back to my house, I would probably feel like tired. Wouldn't you think you get like just really tired, like drained? Like, wow, I just did that to like 4 people. That's very, I mean, like it's physical. Just, oh man. But I mean, he probably does have the OCD. He definitely he went home and he took a shower and everything. He made sure that he like stuck to his little checklist or whatever he had. I'm not saying he had one, but I'm just saying like some people do. Like Rex Heuermann had a checklist. So then at 9:32 or 9:12 to 9:21, Brian's phone's utilizing cellular resources that will provide coverage to the King Road residents. So he's back in the area for 10 minutes. And then 10 minutes later, his phone arrives back at his house. Bethany and Dylan summons friends to the house because they believe that one of the 2 victims was passed out and wouldn't wake up. At 11:56 a.m., 911 call was placed from inside the residence using either Bethany or Dylan's phone, requesting aid for an unconscious person, and dispatch spoke with multiple individuals. And that's what we heard back then in 2022, and that's what we know now to be true in 2025. At 11:58 a.m., officers respond to 1122 King Road. So within 2 minutes. Shit, that's a response time. At 12 p.m., all 4 victims are pronounced deceased. At 12:36, BK's phone utilizes cellular resources that provide coverage to Kate's Cup of Joe coffee stand at 810 Port Drive, Clarkston, Washington. Doesn't have a time, but surveillance footage from the chef's store, which is located like right across the street. It's adjacent from the coffee shop. It shows the white Elantra driving past it. And then 12:46, BK's phone utilizes cellular data in the area of Albertsons. So he goes into Albertsons. Outside CCTV from Albertsons shows BK exit the white Elantra, consistent with suspect vehicle 1. And this is at 12:49, right? So then after interior CCTV footage from Albertsons shows BK walk through the store and purchase unknown items at checkout, he is seen leaving the store. I wonder if he checked himself out or if he had someone check him out. I wonder. Because I wonder if he had someone check him out, if they would remember what he bought. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they would 6 weeks later. But if they could pull back video, but I don't know that. What if it erases after 30 days? I don't know if it does. We'd have to look into that. A lot of places, they erase after like a certain amount of days. So at 2:07, the vandal alert is sent out to the University of Idaho students, advising them to stay inside. So stay inside again. Another incident. Vandal alert, shelter in place, lifted by University of Idaho at 2:46. Okay. So at 2:07, they're sending out a vandal alert. Does that even get to everybody in time before they say, nope, it's cool. Don't need a shelter in place anymore? I mean, they tell the students to like stay inside, kind of advising you, stay inside, you know, we've got something going on over here. And then by 2:46, they're lifting it. 40 minutes, not even an hour. Like, I would think if I was a student on campus that they caught the person, or I would have thought this was like an OD and they already solved it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this wasn't nothing. Like, we've been hearing all these rumors that this was like a stabbing. This must have just been like some sort of, you know, some like OD or something. But it wasn't, unfortunately. That was, I mean, not unfortunately, because that's just as bad, but it's just sad. At 3:30 p.m., the text alert sent out to WSU students, followed by email notifying them of the homicide. The alert stated, there is no threat to the Pullman community. You want to take that back? Because, I mean, if he's convicted, he was in Pullman. At 4 o'clock, the Moscow Police Department, Sergeant Blaker and Corporal Brett Payne arrived at the scene. At 4:30, sheriff arrived at the Gonzalez house to notify them that Kaylee was deceased and that there were 4 victims. Between 5 and 5:30, Latah County Coroner Kathy Mabbitt arrives on scene. At 5:21, vandal alert. Moscow police continue to investigate. No ongoing threat. I don't how would that be not be an ongoing threat? I mean, these were not like there was no question. It wasn't like these were like, murder suicides. These weren't, right? They weren't ODs. So I don't know why you would just be like, no ongoing threat. Because that to me, if I was a student, I'd be like, oh, they caught the person that did this. Like, that's what I would think if I got that alert. So 5:32 to 5:36, BK's phone utilizes cellular resources that provide coverage to Johnson, Idaho, or Johnson, actually, Washington. Or is it Idaho now? No, I can't remember. I've read them both. Hey, Mary Beth. I'm thinking he kept the knife too. I'm thinking, Austin, it might be that number one thing they have on that. If it comes to be on that search warrant where it says knife and that it ends up being the knife, that would be something. Yeah, right. What happened in the hour that caused him to cancel it? Yeah. I'm going back through the chat. I don't know if he would bury it because the ground would be so hard. But he did have time to do something. Like he could have sorry, he could have dug the hole. Could have done that. I mean, he did have a shovel in the back. Now, I don't know. I don't know if you'd have a shovel like that for being in the Poconos. He probably did grab his pants when he realized the sheep was gone. I would think that he probably realized that when he was trying to walk out with after the last murder. Oh yeah, it's just a lot harder to dig a hole. My brother had to use a backhoe when we had our stuff was frozen. But we needed like a pretty decent size hole dug. So where are we at now? What happened? Oh, I'm on the wrong page. I'm like, what happened? Where's my timeline? There it is. So no ongoing threat. BK uses cellular resources that provide coverage. So that's where we were. So 5:36 p.m. to 8:30, BK's phone stops reporting to the network. So he either turns it off again, puts it in airplane mode, it dies. I don't know. I'm assuming that he turns it off. Then Kaylee's ex-boyfriend, Jack DeCore, is interviewed by Corporal Brett Payne. The press release, the city of Moscow, they have the homicide victims. They hold a press release. And I thought that was on the 13th. Oh, the press release was not the press conference. Press conference was the 16th. So then November 14th, 2022, BK's phone connects to a cell tower that provides service to Moscow, Idaho. But investigators don't believe that BK's phone was in Moscow on this date, and it has not connected to any towers that provide service to Moscow since this date. So after the homicides, Brian Kohlberger's phone never goes back over there. Never, not once. So for somebody that likes to take drives over there consistently, I mean, pretty consistent 20 sometimes, that doesn't look good. That doesn't look good. So then the in-person and online classes are canceled. The mayor comes out and he expresses condolences to the community. And then on the 14th at 3:01, only one Moscow police car is on the property, though it remains blocked off with tape. No other activity. Same date, updated contact info for City of Moscow homicide, Moscow Police Department homicide investigation, Moscow homicide update. Moscow Police Department holds their first press conference on November 16th at 3:30. I remember watching that with you guys. Remember when the lady snuck in? When she snuck in, we got to go through those press conferences to find her. We got to at least watch that lady. Oh man, that was a hoot. So if you're new to the case, if you didn't watch the press conferences, there was a lady that She had her cell phone. She was like, so there's press everywhere, right? This is a huge case, right? And you have this lady just with her phone, just straight out, like her arm is like this, straight out, like right in, I mean, like the officer's like right here. Like her phone is right up in his face. And come to find out, she snuck in there. She said she was like a student or something. And I was like, honey, you couldn't have made yourself more obvious. She even got a question in. Yeah, they do have the receipt. Yeah. That's true if it was snowing, but wasn't snowing that time. Yeah, tag and receipt. So that's pretty damning. We thought he wore that before they found the tag and the receipt, though. Like, I can't even remember when I showed it to you guys. It was with the guy with the white beard. I don't know. That's just what I pictured when I pictured what someone would put on. But November 16th at 9:22 p.m., AT&T cell tower dump for 1113 from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. And they do it at a 0.50 mile radius. These are all warrants. So warrants they obtained, Inland Cellular, and they did a tower dump from 3 to 5, T-Mobile for 2 unknown subscriber phone numbers, and then another cell phone tower dump, Verizon for 3 unknown subscribers. Verizon for 3 unknown subscribers again. Autopsies were performed on November 17th on all 4 victims. Then we have more warrants. The AT&T, T-Mobile, Inland. I've never heard of Inland Cellular. Have you guys? I mean, like, is that like Boost? You know what I mean? Like, you know, like what's Sprint now? T-Mobile? I don't even know. That's so bad. I think it's T-Mobile. I'm so mad about knowing that stuff. There's a lot of cell phones on there. Well, thank you guys for hitting the like button. I appreciate that. Don't want the spiders to come in creepy crawlies and get you tonight if you don't hit the like button. I'm just kidding. I don't want to do that to you guys. The Latah County Coroner has a press release, and that is on this November 17th. November 18th, T-Mobile for 2 unknown subscriber phone numbers. The Moscow homicide update. They were updating like every day. They were doing press conferences like every 3 days, it seemed like. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. But I did like that they had a dedicated spot on their page, on their like police, website, where it said like King Road homicides, and you could click it, and it had the number of like officers that were, just working on that case, how many tips they had come in, how many tips they've checked out, who was cleared at the time, things like that. I thought it was pretty nice having everything in one spot. And then we got the gag order. So then I'm trying to read through these as fast as I can for you guys so we can move on to something else. They have Umpqua Block Incorporated. I don't know what that is either. PayPal, Venmo, Umpqua. Umpqua is a bank, right? Yeah. And they got surveillance footage. Don't know what they would need that for, but Moscow Iowa homicide update. And then Moscow police put out map of area of interest to collect video footage. And then 9:27 p.m. PayPal and Venmo warrants are served. Block Inc. Info received. November 20th, Idaho State Police Lab in Mandarin, Idaho, locate DNA on the button of the sheath and perform STR analysis with no hit and CODIS, other than to show that the provider was a male. The same day, a glove is found outside the residence and is sent to the ISP lab for analysis. And see, I told you it was found on November 20th. I told you that was a while ago. Chris McDonough, he found the glove that he found was on Thanksgiving. Or it might have been like the day before Thanksgiving. Him and his wife were driving around the house. I don't know. That's kind of weird. Not, and I mean, I guess it's not weird, but it is because it's Thanksgiving. Like, I think he would be doing something else for Thanksgiving, but I don't know. So the glove was found outside the residence and it is sent to the ISP lab for analysis. So they should be able to tell us some stuff about that glove. Media and Community Advisory, Moscow Homicide Update. They do a press release. They have a press conference. We'll have to go through the press conferences one day. Detectives do not believe any individual at the residence when 911 was called is involved in this crime. Detectives do not believe that the private party driver who took Kaylee and Madison home is involved in this crime. That people didn't care. Facebook and Instagram, Kaylee, these are the warrants obtained and served. Facebook and Instagram, Kaylee, Bank of America, Facebook, Ethan, Snapchat, Maddie. Why should I have two? Snapchat, everyone but Madison, because they already got two for her. Apple, Gonzalez account, Facebook, Maddie, Apple, Mogan account, Facebook, Madison, Apple, Gonzalez account. Police expand the crime scene. That's when they just remember they took out the yellow tape, they moved it out and marked it out, the crime scene out, like where you couldn't park on the same road as the house. So then on the same day, they have Apple, Mogan, Kernodle, and Chapin's account, Instagram for Ethan, Snapchat, everyone but Madison, Walmart, knife sales. So, okay. Facebook and Instagram, Xana. Maybe they thought that knife, like they could have gotten the weapon from inside the home. You know what I mean? Like, because sometimes killers don't come prepared. You know, they don't. They're like, oh, we'll just use something when we get there. So they did look up knife sales. So Facebook and Instagram for Xana. At 5:15, 911 call reporting suspicious activity at the 600 block of Blaine Street. Female caller saw a male in the front passenger seat of her vehicle when she opened the car door. The female, who was with her sister, slammed the car door and ran screaming from the car, calling 911. Multiple neighbors heard the girl screaming and came to assist. They checked the area and found no one. A passerby informed the sisters of seeing a male chasing them and left before speaking with officers. Now that's scary. Wow. Charter Communications. I don't know where that would be. Facebook and Instagram. These are all warrants served. Instagram for Ethan, Apple, Kernodles, Apple, Chapin's. Then they gave us another update. They were getting other warrants back. PayPal, Venmo, Facebook, Instagram. Then they had the Blaine Street incident, Umpqua accounts. And then detectives determined that the incident of a skinned dog is unrelated to the murders. Additionally, report of deceased animals left on a resident's property was determined to be wildlife activity and unrelated to the murders. Warrants were served, and it was Facebook for Ethan, and then warrant info received Apple for Maddie and Kernodle's accounts, and Umpqua surveillance footage, which I want to see that surveillance footage. What's so important about it? I'm curious. I'm thinking the only person I could think of that would be in a bank would have been Kaylee that week. I mean, for sure. You know what I mean? They all could have went to the bank. They all, I'm sure, had a debit card. But no one really carries cash, right? But Kaylee would have been at the bank to sign her title for her car. But she got it at Price. Remember, it said Price or something on the back of it. Now I want to know where she got the dang car. If anyone knows, let me know. Because remember, it said Price Motors or something on the back. Yeah, baby girl, I wonder too. Okay, so where were we? Amazon warrant. That was November 26th. November 25th. We went back there a little bit. Apple for Chapin's account. MPD places BOLO to the area law enforcement agencies for white Hyundai Elantra in the area. So November 25th, that's when Moscow says, hey, we need to know, where's this white Hyundai Elantra? Investigators and FBI Behavioral Analysis Unit returned to the home after the crime scene had been untouched for days. After searching the inside of the house, one investigator left with several small bags in his hand. And that's when they were all out there and they're like, what'd you come back for? What'd you here for? And they were all in like cowboy hats, I think. It was that time. Thank you, Willows. The legend of the true crime. You know, I mean, that's what they call us around here, the legend. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, Steve G. Yes, gazillionaire, I know, right? Craziness. We got a T-Mobile tower dump for a 2-mile radius. eBay knife sales, T-Mobile, Potlatch, #1 financial credit union. Now that could be American Express. They have like all these just unions, credit unions, Wells Fargo, Banner Bank. Then Moscow gives us another update. eBay, Banner Bank, Discovery, just a bunch of warrants. Trying to see if any of them mean anything. And then on November 29th, police tow away the 5 vehicles that remained in front of the crime scene since 11/13 for further processing and evidence gathering. And then they give us a police update, press release, probably saying as much like, we're taking the cars out of the driveway. Nobody panic. Nobody freak out. Because, I mean, people would, freak out. They want to know what's going on. So then on November 30th, Kohlberger's Pennsylvania plate / registration expires. And then they have more info received. They hold a press conference. And then for Kaylee, we have Yahoo, Reddit, obtained and served. Warrants served and warrants obtained. So they give us another update. Detectives mentioned they are aware of a 6th person listed on the lease at the King Road residence, but do not believe that individual was present during the incident. Now, warrant info received for K-Bar, warrant info received, and this is December 2nd. Yahoo for Kaylee, UPS, truck surveillance. Wonder what someone bought. They wanted the truck surveillance from it. Or maybe they just wanted it because they went by a certain spot. So then detectives have spoken with the 6th individual on the lease and confirmed they moved out prior to the start of the school year and was not present at the time of the incident. This was on December 2nd. Detectives do not believe the person has any involvement in the murders. And then BK gets a haircut at his regular barbershop, Powers Barbershop, by his regular barber, Rose Perez, who has been cutting his hair since July 2022. That's when he got to pretty much right after he got, into Moscow. Pullman. So then they got the whole house had Facebook warrant was obtained. More updates. Police security company now guarding the crime scene. So on December 3rd, investigators inside the house seen carrying a briefcase proceed turning lights on and off. And I think that's when they were trying to see how long it would take for them to commit the murders. So then Facebook, the whole house, UPS, sorry, I think that we already read through those. Tinder, 19 redacted accounts. For who? Who made 19 accounts and then deleted them? Kohlberger? Hold on. Let's see. Doesn't have a name. Let me copy this. Oh, this is an order to seal. Huh. Well, we won't find that out probably until trial, but if they talk about it. But I mean, 19 accounts is a lot. Like, especially that's one person, right? Because they have they have right here too. So the warrant was served, warrant obtained, warrant served. Okay. So then they have Tinder for Maddie. Moscow homicide update, Chief James Fry interview. He does an interview. On December 7th, police began removing victims' personal belongings from the house and load them into a U-Haul truck. The DoorDash warrant Tinder comes back. Man. So then they get that on December 7th, the Tinder 19 redacted accounts. That's so crazy. Then they have another press conference. Police are asking for the community's help. Police asked for the community's help in locating the driver of a 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra because they didn't know what car they needed at the time. They weren't sure of the year. Let's see, we'll go down. December 13th, Blue Ridge Knives was one that was executed in Extreme Networks. TikTok for Maddie and Xana. TikTok for Maddie, Kaylee, and Xana. There were all three of them, sorry. And then they give us another update. And then December 14th, 8:47 p.m., Pullman police are called to an apartment on the 1000 block of Latall Street for a weapons offense where a man reportedly threatened to kill his roommates in their apartment. After unsuccessful negotiations, escalating behavior, and continued danger to the public and officers, the male was shot by a member of the Whitman County Regional SWAT team. The 2015 white Elantra is queried by Hancock County Sheriff's Department in Indiana. Law enforcement vehicle clearly marked sheriff. BK's second traffic stop in Indiana. This is December 15th. Then they give us an update. Autopsy report for Ethan Chapin is complete. And that's not until December 15th. So that's like a whole other month. Like, wonder what would take that long. Like, what would take, why would, I mean, he did have that carving into him. Do you think they were doing other testing, like trying to test to see what the wounds were, or? Oh man, let's see. How many weeks is that? Like 6 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 4 weeks? We'll say 5 weeks. Okay, so let's do. Okay, so it may take longer, including the need for complex tests like toxicology and microscopic examinations, and overall complexity of the case and the pathologist's workload. Maybe for like tox results, I don't think that it matters, in my opinion, but they could have been wanting to test for it. Because it says here 8 to 12, it could be 8 to 12 weeks for those. Oh, that could be it too. 19 people's accounts had contact with the victims. So December 16th, Blue Ridge Knives, I got the info. I'm just going down to like the stuff that is good. Okay, so December 27th, they give us an update. Cameras are placed on Kohberger's parents' property. Police start following Brian Kohberger. Police agents recover the trash from the Kohberger family residence located in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, and sent it to the Idaho State Lab for testing. You heard that right. They took that from Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, to the Idaho State Lab for the testing. Instead of just doing the testing in Pennsylvania. I don't know. But okay. December 29th at 2:22 p.m., probable cause order is signed by Judge Megan Marshall. 2:22 p.m., arrest warrant is signed by Judge Megan Marshall. 2:43 p.m., criminal complaint filed. 2:44, probable cause order is filed. 2:52 p.m., Brett Payne affidavit of probable cause for arrest is filed. December 30th, arrest made in Moscow homicide investigation. And then it says, well, actually, let's read through these. Sorry. Pennsylvania State Police serve arrest warrant at 119 Lambsden, and that's at 1:30 a.m. At 7:30 a.m., multiple unmarked LE vehicles seen in front of Koberger's Washington apartment per witness Randy Smith, a neighbor and employee at WSU. At 8:36 p.m. a.m., defendants arrested in foreign jurisdiction is filed. At 9:38 a.m., order appointing public defender is filed. And then they say there's arrest been made. BK's invocation of rights is filed, and Taylor files a notice of limited appearance, and Taylor files motion to preserve crime scene and evidence. Celebration of life for Kaylee and Maddie at Lake City Church in Coeur d'Alene. I was at 3:00 that day that he was arrested. And they said that they weren't going to have those girls as ceremonies until he was arrested. And then like they did. It was amazing that they were able to. So I'm going to leave this. I'm going to leave this right here because I want to go over the extradition and I want to go over his court appearances on one of our other lives. But I want to show you something else. So I wanted to start these podcasts over for you guys and show them to you guys again. Listen to them with you guys again. I don't know. You know what I mean? And I'll put like pictures up on the screen. Now, I did have a video that I made earlier. I don't know if I can find it. Maybe if I go through here. Let's see. What is this? I'm confused. Okay, what was I doing there? I don't even know what I was doing there. Okay. I think it's like trying to. Okay. Before I mess anything up, let me get out of that. Okay. Is it? Okay, cool. It's still there. I'm just reading the chat. Sorry. Oh, so he does have Kara. He does have a Strava account. It's a hiking app, but he only put one run on it. But he's a 6-minute mile. So yeah. Stories from the barber. I know, right? I wonder if I ever talked to her. I mean, I don't really talk to my nail salon people. You know me, my nail tech. Really, baby girl? I love me some soda. I need to stop drinking it. I was just I was reading the chat. I want to see his Tinder profile. Me too. I know, I do too. Where did he run to? I don't know. I forget. I remember we pulled it up one. It might even still be on my phone. I wonder if I still have Strava. Because I got it for. Yeah, I just have to like re-download it. Like it has like the little cloud. And then I think I just like downloaded the app and then I think I just looked him up. Like I think I just looked up Brian Koberger. And there he was. You're a Coca-Cola fan, Ladybug? I like Coca-Cola from McDonald's. It's the best. The best. I don't drink Coke unless it's from McDonald's. I love it. It's the best. They put like extra sugar or something, and I don't know what they put in there, but crack or something. Because I'll be drinking it. And not all the time. I drink it like twice a year, but still. So we went over these way back when, but I thought it would be good to go over these again. But so we'll start at episode 1 and we'll go from there. I'm actually going to go back and go to, maybe I'll go to I was trying to see if I could find the trailer. That's okay. Is it this? Yeah, this is it. Okay. So I'll play the trailer for you guys and then we'll go right into the podcast. But I'll put up some pictures so that way there's something to look at. But in the first one, the first video is going to so some of them are subscriber edition only, and then some of them are just, regular videos. But the first one is going to be the murders on King Road, and it's going to start out in the beginning of the case. So it's kind of like we're going back in time, to November 13th. So it'll be in the early morning hours, November 13th, 4 University of Idaho students in the prime of their lives were found brutally stabbed to death in an off-campus residence. The news of the murder sent shockwaves through the close, tight-knit community of Moscow, Idaho. So this will be the preview. And don't forget to hit the like button. Help your girl out a little bit. And I'm going to do the giveaway too, after, as soon as I set this up.
Brought you the #1 podcast, The Piketon Massacre.
Breaking news out of Moscow, Idaho.
It was an unimaginable crime.
This is a massacre. There's no other way to say it.
Officials found 4 people dead.
The victims were attacked with a large knife.
It's a bloodbath.
It's a crime scene investigator's nightmare.
In the early morning of November 13th, 2022, 4 University of Idaho college students in the prime of their lives were found brutally stabbed to death in their home.
We believe it was a targeted attack.
Police investigating the mysterious murders of 4 Idaho college students now say the threat to the community may not be over.
Who on earth would do something like this and why?
The case would capture the nation's attention.
This case received intense media scrutiny.
When you read 70 theories, you can make yourself believe anything.
We have heard mention that Kaylee stated she may have had a stalker.
But the mystery is far from over.
When you use a knife, that's very personal.
There's a relationship between these 4 students and this person.
After that murder is perpetrated, can't imagine that they could escape that scene without being covered in blood.
This is the Idaho Massacre. Listen to the Idaho Massacre, a production of KT Studios and iHeartRadio, starting on August 9th on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast.
Okay, let me see if I can do this really quick. This giveaway. Okay, I think I could do it too. So if certain people want to be in it and not everybody, I think I can do a keyword. So I'm going to hit next. I'm not sure what's going to do, but because I don't want to pick someone if we're not ready yet, Or you can do a random number, but I don't want to do a random number. So we'll do a keyword. Select who can participate. Everybody. Okay, that's everybody. Okay. So the key phrase, I think it has to be exclamation point. Okay, so it's all in there, I guess. It looks like it. Okay, so I'm going to show you in the chat. Well, I'm not going to show you actually. I'm going to show you, but I'm not going to show you because I don't want you to I don't want to type it in and join. So it's going to be, if you want to join the giveaway, I'm going to hit next. I'm going to hit done. Okay, just let's see if it'll, I don't know if it'll work, but we'll give it a try. You just have to put in exclamation mark and then join, the word. So exclamation mark. And then, but then put it all together. So mine is going to be like a space, but put it all together. It says we have some of you guys in here. Okay, you're in there, baby girl. So no, that's so crazy. We've got Captain in there, Ladybug, Sweetly Morbid Bear, True Crime Lullabies, Jenna, Pete, Ashley Higgins, Baby Girl. Let's see. Can we reset entries? Like, let's see if that does anything. I might have messed it up. Okay, let's see. It's like taking forever. I'll have to do it under. Let's see. Let's do it this way. Let's go to active chatters. Okay. Everybody just type in whatever you want in the chat. Minimum time a user must be. Okay. So we'll put it down to 1 minute because it says minimum time for a user must be active to be eligible. But if 1 minute is the lowest I can go. And then I don't know what unique winners means. So I'm going to hit done. And I think it's going to pick somebody. Oh, wait, I have to choose a winner. Okay, everybody's in there, though, it looks like that time. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay. Yeah. I'm like, come on, be fast. Okay. Let's see. I'm Stephanie. Hey, that's Stephanie. Okay, so I'm going to choose a winner. Yeah, it's like a randomizer thing. So basically, like I could show it to you. Like this is, so see how everyone's in there? Like, it's just like it's just a giveaway, like a, just on my back office or my Nightbot back office. So I think everyone is in there. I'm letting it kind of like load and everything. So, okay. So I'm going to choose a winner. Look at that. Now, what does it say? Does it show on your side? Yeah, I did. Look, get to the ducking point. It says it like on there. That's so cool. I thought it was going to do it for me because so just email me tomorrow or tonight or whenever. But just email me at titaniumbuiltboo@gmail.com. All one word, titaniumbuiltboo. I'll put it in the chat too. And then I'll just, be like, verify that it's you, get to the ducking point, and then I'll send it over for you. And then we'll do one with the members. So I'll let this episode play and I'll get it like set up. So when you see the chat goes to members, then that's when I'm going to do the other giveaway. So let me get this ready for you guys. If I can.
And Stephanie Lydecker about
I'm trying to go back. There we go. Okay. And I'll put pictures on that.
Breaking news out of North Idaho. The
Moscow Police Department says they responded to reports of an unconscious person on King Road around noon today. When they got there, they found 4 people dead inside the home.
The bodies of 3 women and 1 man, all 21 or under, were found together.
The victims were attacked with a large knife.
This is a massacre. There's no other way to say it.
This is the Idaho Massacre, a production of KT Studios and iHeartRadio. Episode 1, Murders on King Road. I'm Courtney Armstrong, a television producer at KT Studios with Stephanie Lydecker, Jeff Shane, and Connor Powell.
Upon further investigation, officials found 4 people dead.
The university sent an alert asking students to stay away from the area and to shelter in place.
The killings, the first murders in the city of Moscow in years, terrified the small, close-knit community. On November 13th, 2022, the normally idyllic college town of Moscow, Idaho, was shaken by the news of a gruesome murder. Just before noon on Sunday morning, a 911 dispatcher received a call from a 6-bedroom house on 1122 King Road. The caller said one of their roommates was unconscious. Emergency personnel rushed to the house. The 3-story rental property was tucked away on a quiet, dead-end street. It was just feet from the University of Idaho's Fraternity Row and its scenic, tree-lined campus. Inside, the house was described as a bloodbath. The next day, blood could be seen seeping through the walls and was visible from the street. The 4 victims were all close friends and students at the University of Idaho. Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, and Xana Kernodle all lived together in the house on King Road. Ethan Chapin was Xana Kernodle's boyfriend and was visiting for the night.
The reality is there's still a person out there who committed 4 horrible, horrible crimes.
Here's Stephanie and Jeff.
I think, like so many people, this case hit us particularly because of the sheer magnitude of violence and tragedy that occurred in this house. You know, you had these 4 young people who were so full of life and had seemingly everything going for them. And it was taken so quickly and so violently that it just, at least for me personally, seemed so unimaginable.
Like the whole country, we were absolutely horrified when news broke of this case, and we immediately started digging in. And yes, there was a lot of coverage at the start, but our goal here is hopefully to go a bit deeper into the case. Thankfully, a massacre so large, it's incredibly rare. But whoever did this is essentially a great white shark of murderers. This was such an overkill. The exterior of the house, walls were literally bleeding. What kind of maniac would do this?
We really felt like, as true crime producers, we wanted to focus our attention on the facts and really put everything in one place and make it manageable for people, because there are so many mistruths and headlines out there that aren't necessarily even fact-checked. And so as a team, we really want to dive into this case and explore what's true and what's not.
The University of Idaho is a classic red brick campus nestled in the green rolling hills in the northwestern corner of the state. It is situated in the small, rural, agricultural community of Moscow, Idaho. Before it was a crime scene, the house at 1122 King Road was at the center of university life and home to 5 female roommates. Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, Dylan Mortensen, and Bethany Funk. Just hours before the gruesome killings, 21-year-old senior Kaylee Gonsalves posted a photo to social media showing all of the roommates and Xana's boyfriend Ethan Chapin during happier times.
One lucky girl to be surrounded by these people every day, she wrote.
When you look at some of the photographs that have been generated on social media or that we've seen on the news, for example, they look so happy, and they literally look as though they're on the cover of a magazine, like a J. Crew ad or a Gap ad.
Kaylee was the blonde 21-year-old senior from Rathdrum, Idaho, who had majored in general studies. She had actually just graduated and was not officially living in the house on King Road, only back to visit for the weekend. She had been a member of Alpha Phi sorority and was a hardworking student. She was actually on the verge of moving to Austin, Texas, where she was going to work at a tech company, and she had just bought this shiny new Range Rover to make the drive. She was in town to show her friends the new car. Kaylee and fellow victim Madison Mogan had grown up together in northern Idaho, and the pair had been inseparable ever since 6th grade. They were more like sisters than friends.
That's what makes this even more unimaginable. Their families said that they spent all of their time together. Imagine that, best friends since 6th grade. And they kind of look like sisters. Madison, who went by the name Maddie, was 21 years old at the time of her death. She was also a marketing major. Maddie was known for her hilarious sense of humor. She was extremely bubbly and she loved the color pink. I'm looking at a photo of her right now, and she's wearing this bright pink dress. She has long blonde hair, slightly wavy, and she is just smiling ear to ear. She also worked as a waitress at the Mad Greek restaurant with her other roommate, victim 20-year-old Xana Kernodle. Xana was also a stunning brunette. She was also very sporty. According to her friends, Xana played volleyball, track, and even soccer in high school. She was a junior at the University of Idaho at the time of her death. They are dear friends. They're sorority girls. They work together. And all three of them, by all accounts, were very close.
Xana was dating 20-year-old Ethan Chapin from Conway, Washington at the time of her death. Ethan was a freshman at the University of Idaho and a triplet who his siblings also went to school at Idaho. And he was very close with them and his fraternity brothers. But really the relationship that mattered to him most was his with Xana. While they were young, they had truly found love. They were spending time together outside of school in the summer with each other's families. And Xana's dad described their relationship as one of deep importance and seriousness. And despite losing their lives at a young age, he said he was happy that Xana and Ethan had found each other and at least were together when they died.
The night of Saturday, November 12th started like most weekend nights for the friends living at 1122 King Road. Xana Kernodle and her boyfriend Ethan Chapin spent the evening partying at the nearby Sigma Chi fraternity house. Kaylee Gonsalves and Madison Mogan were seen at the local sports bar. The pair left around 1:30 in the morning, stopping at a local food truck. Surveillance photo and a social media stream from a food truck captured Kaylee, Maddie, and another friend ordering food around 1:40 a.m.
Welcome back.
James, I think I would like the carb and But if I have a free grub check on my app.
Oh, yep. So what you want to do is we'll actually do this. There you go.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Police determined Maddie and Kaylee arrived home at 1:56 a.m. based on new digital evidence collected by investigators. Ethan and Xana are believed to have arrived just 10 minutes beforehand.
Around 4 in the morning, police say Xana received a food order from DoorDash. A little while later, one of the surviving roommates, Dylan Mortensen, was woken up by a sound. She thought it was Kaylee playing with her dog.
She was on the same floor as two of the victims who were killed, Xana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin, telling police she was woken by a noise at 4 a.m., hearing Kaylee say something like, "There's someone here."
She peeked outside her door, but didn't see anything.
At 4:12 a.m., Xana, still awake, was scrolling through the social media app TikTok. Just a few minutes later, Dylan told police she once again heard a noise.
She heard crying from Xana's room, followed by a male voice saying, "It's okay, I'm going to help you."
She later opened her door again after hearing crying coming from Xana Kernodle's room. This time, she saw a dark figure standing there.
She opened her door and stood frozen as a man wearing black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose walking towards her. Describing him as 5'10" or taller, not very muscular, but athletically built, with bushy eyebrows.
Terrified, she remained frozen in place as the suspect walked past her and left out the sliding glass door behind her.
Authorities say that roommate was in shock.
After looking through surveillance footage and hearing the surviving victims' statements, investigators say they believe the murders took place between 4 and 4:25 a.m.
8 hours after the killings, police were called to the house on King Road. When they arrived, they found a gruesome scene. 4 people, all brutally, repeatedly stabbed to death. Kaylee Gonsalves and Madison Mogan were killed in the bed they were sharing on the 3rd floor. Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle were found dead in her room. Ethan's throat was sliced. Nearby, his girlfriend Xana Kernodle was found with multiple defensive wounds to her hands and arms.
So even back then, they were talking about how, Ethan's throat was cut. So I'm thinking they might be right on that.
3 days after the murders, investigators briefed the public.
The results of autopsies indicated that the four were stabbed multiple times and were likely asleep during the attack. Some had defensive wounds, and there was no sign of sexual assault. We have heard mention that Kaylee stated she may have had a stalker. Detectives have been looking into that, and to this point have been unable to corroborate the statement.
According to investigators, there was no sign of forced entry, and there was no murder weapon left at the scene.
We continue looking for what we believe to be a fixed blade knife used in the murders.
However, the killer did leave one key piece of evidence behind.
When inspecting the house for the first time, officers noticed a tan leather knife sheath lying on the bed where Kaylee and Madison were found.
Investigators also said they had ruled out several people.
We do not believe the following individuals were involved: the two surviving roommates, the male seen in a grub truck video circulating on the internet, a private party who drove Kaylee and Madison home, any of the individuals who spoke to the dispatcher on the 911 call. We're also aware of a male whom Madison and Kaylee had called several times the morning of November 13th, and we do not suspect that individual.
The question remaining, who entered the residence later that night to carry out these grisly murders?
Let's stop here for a break. We'll be back in a moment. Joseph Scott Morgan is a forensic expert at Jackson State University and is a former senior investigator for the Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office in Atlanta, Georgia. He spoke to producer Jeff Shane and Stephanie Leidecker about the crime site and the events of the morning of November 13th.
I think the watchword here is intimacy. These kids that are in the middle of college careers, that are partying, they're going to Greek parties, or they're preparing for graduation, it's a very protected environment. The thing you've got to worry about the most probably in this location is, are you going to get another parking ticket by the police?
There's also this layer of presumed safety when we're off in college, right? It's this bubble, and it's supposed to be. It's horrifying to know that that level of safety isn't real.
You're not thinking, is the apocalypse coming? Am I going to be slaughtered in my bed? Intimacy ends and begins with the perpetrator. He's intimate with them. They don't have an awareness of his intimacy.
But what do you think happened in those 16 minutes when he came into the house?
There's 2 ground levels. So you have a parking pad that's in the rear of the building where you would enter in to the area that many people would say first floor, and I've heard some people say basement. And it's where there's a keypad. And according to everyone that I have heard talk about this to this point, many people knew the code on the keypad. Okay. But I don't think he entered through that location. He entered on what would be referred to as the second ground floor, which is there's kind of a field behind that, extending outward away from the home, that has kind of a brush line on either side. It's sufficient enough for concealment so that if the house is all ablaze in light, you could stand out there on the second level and stay back in this wooded area and see everything that's going on. It has been stated that that second floor entrance is actually this sliding glass door. And of course, the darkness of night, you can stand there and you can watch everything that goes on. If you're not illuminated, if you're not standing under some kind of artificial light outside, and every single movement you can track, looking through that sliding glass door and the other associated windows, you can see when a light comes on upstairs. Now, you can't see anything that's going on that bottom level, but you can see right into the second floor. So once the lights had died down and the perpetrator would have had knowledge that back door, the glass door, was commonly left unlocked, which is an interesting point, I think, because that again goes to an intimacy and a familiarity, doesn't it? So when the perpetrator makes entrance, painting the picture, when you make entrance through that sliding glass door, it's kind of like a great room, if you will, kind of an open, people use the term open floor plan. You've got an area over to the right where I think that, there might be some seating. Over to the left is kind of a dining kitchen area. It'd be a great place to gather if you were having friends over. People could come over. Interior guests could spill out onto the little landing there outside the door.
What else can you tell us about the house?
We know that there were loud parties there because there had been noise complaints in the past. But when you walk in, if you go back to your right as you're walking through that sliding glass door, there's bedrooms down that way. But he bypasses those and proceeds upstairs to the 3rd floor. Well, you've got one bedroom that is occupied, another one that is unoccupied. And the one that is occupied that room is actually occupied the night of the killing by 2 friends. And when I say friends, I mean friends, as close as 2 friends could possibly be. We're talking about 2 young ladies that had actually grown up together. They decided to go to U of I together because of this childhood bond that they had developed. One of the victims was preparing to graduate. As a matter of fact, her stuff was already out of her bedroom. She'd come back to visit, and because there was no other place to sleep, they'd been out that night. So when they get back to this home, they're upstairs. And remember, anybody that's in that backyard and they're waiting and they're watching, they could see movement of 2 people, perhaps these 2 young ladies, as they went past the sliding glass doors and then went up. Maybe there was a light that went on upstairs. And when the light finally went out upstairs, perhaps that's the moment in time when you know to move. You've been thinking about this. You've been planning it. You're very excited about the opportunity that you're going to have to wreak havoc.
For any friends or family connected to the victims, the following will be difficult to hear.
You make the entrance through the house and you walk down the hall, you turn, you go up the staircase, and there they are before you. They're laying in bed. Now, was there an awareness that he had entered the room? Was there a scream, a shout, or anything like that? It's hard to tell right now at this point, but it would appear that they were essentially killed where they were laying in that bed. They didn't move out of the bed. And this would have been a vicious attack. And even with alcohol in their systems, they're not blind drunk. There would have been knowledge on their part and awareness that there was an attack underway. And it's not just any kind of attack. It's not like someone's being shot. You're talking about a milled edge weapon that's made for combat, and it's being driven multiple times into each one of their bodies. There would have been screams. There would have been discomfort. There would have been cries, and there would have been blood. That bed itself, the walls around it, probably would have been awash in blood. There would potentially have been so much blood it would have soaked through the mattress and dripped through on the surface below, depended upon where they're stabbed and how many times they were stabbed.
What about the killer?
The perpetrator, the person that did this, would have been effused with blood as well. They would have had blood certainly on their upper body, contact points on their hands, front and the back, palmar aspects. Just imagine a traditional sewing machine needle going up and down like this, and every time the knife is drawn away, the surface of this blade is covered in blood. It's going to be cast onto that person, perhaps, not to mention the adjacent surfaces, whether it's the ceiling or the walls, because it's dynamic. It's not like you're driving this knife into an inanimate object. These are living, breathing human beings that are reacting to pain. So they're going to be turning and twisting and jostling and trying to get away from the pain because their pain centers are alerted. That's what happens with stab wounds. People can be shot and literally not be aware that they're shot. People are aware when they're stabbed or they're cut. And so it's a reactive kind of thing like this that's going on. And it's not just once or twice, it's multiple times. That's why I believe that that area is going to be super saturated in blood. There's going to be a tremendous amount of trace evidence that's up there, blood evidence that's left behind. And then in this frenzy, for whatever reason, the sheath is left behind. So it's unknown in this period of time what the perpetrator does in this environment. Does this subject linger over the bodies? Or is it containment and I'm leaving? It would seem containment and leaving, but there's a problem. When he begins to exfil out of the house to leave, to most probably exit the same way in which he came in, he meets up with a young man that is with his girlfriend in her bedroom downstairs, meets this young man at the door. He's a tall young man. And according to reports, when he meets up with his perpetrator, the perpetrator cuts his throat. You got to think about that just for a second. This edged weapon is driven across the anterior aspect of his neck, and his throat is cut right there. Again, blood. So if you take that biological element and commingle it with the two victims upstairs, and now you've gone into another bedroom on the second floor, and you've killed first this young man who's found dead apparently in the doorway. They were alerted somehow. They were up. We know that the young lady that was in there was actually on her phone on TikTok. After this young man was killed, the perpetrator went into the bedroom.
Joseph Morgan is referring to Xana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin.
And this young lady that he killed in there, after he had just killed her boyfriend, she certainly had an awareness. And you know how I know? She fought back. It stated that she had sustained sharp force injuries to her hands, multiple, and to her arms. As a matter of fact, the injuries on her hands were so deep that they cut the tendons on her hands. That's an indication that she's grabbing the blade, and that the blade is actually, as she grabs the blade, she's trying to fend it off. And as she grabs the blade is being drugged through her hand. In order to generate this kind of injury after, if what we believe sequencing is right, after stabbing so many times, I think everybody can understand knives get dull, right? So you're talking about butchering 3 other adults. And by the time you get to the 4th adult, the knife still has enough of an edge on it that it's going to cut through the hand, which the texture of our hands it's rough. There's a reason they sell us hand lotion, right? To soften our hands. Our hands are rough. And not just cut the surface of the hands, but to cut down to structural elements within the hand, to cut through them, to slice through them. This knife was very, very sharp and had been prepared probably for this specific intention. I don't know. Maybe the person had taken it and maybe they had a grinding stone. Maybe they took it to someplace to have it sharpened, or maybe they just sat alone in their apartment somewhere and used a whetstone and just sharpened it over and over and over again until they felt like it had enough of a sufficient edge. After that is perpetrated, it's my belief that the perpetrator exits the same way that they came in. Now, did they have to reopen the door? That's key, because what did we talk about? This individual would have been covered in blood. And if that's the case, did they put their hand on the handle of the door to pull it aside in order to exit out of the house? Or did they leave it open, knowing that that's the position that they were going to exit from? That way, you don't have to touch any other surfaces. Would this individual have been thinking that many moves ahead? Or did they run the risk of, after they had all of the blood on them, did they pull it aside? Were they wearing gloves? Well, if they were wearing gloves, where are these blood saturated gloves? Where are these clothes? What happened to them? Were they thrown away in the trash?
Here's Stephanie.
I think it's just important to know, which is why the reason that it's so important that we have you talk to us about this particular case is really because there's so much crossover, in my opinion, between this case and the Piketon Massacre, specifically the overkill, the idea of ordinary people who just look like a neighbor who has opportunity somehow actually is the boogeyman. Are there any other similarities, in your opinion?
Here again, Joseph Scott Morgan.
I worked in the morgue for many, many years, a long time. I've seen more blood than most people can imagine. And I have finished my day up in a morgue and I've been covered in blood. And that's under a very controlled, non-pressure situation, using the correct tools, mind you. How much more so with somebody that has never been, to the best of my knowledge, around this kind of gore, this level of violence? How are they going to get out of this environment and not be covered in blood? I wouldn't think that they would have the same level of skill, certainly as a surgeon, and certainly not somebody that works in my field in forensics, working in the morgue, where all we do is dissections day in and day out. I can't imagine that they could escape that scene without having blood from just covering certainly the anterior aspect of their body.
This morning, students on edge at the University of Idaho.
The news of the murders sent shockwaves through the community. In the immediate days after the discovery of the 4 bodies, authorities issued multiple conflicting statements about whether or not there was a continued threat to the public.
An alert was sent to U of I telling students to stay away from the area and to shelter in place, and it has since been lifted.
They insist there is no wider threat to the public, yet there have still been no arrests.
Police investigating the mysterious murders of 4 Idaho college students now say the threat to the community may not be over.
The reality is there's still a person out there who committed 4 horrible, horrible crimes.
I felt like a lot of the residents, some of them were concerned, but a lot of the students left and they didn't come back. They decided to take their classes remotely and they went home before Thanksgiving break. You know, people were on edge. It really scared a lot of people, wondering who on earth would do something like this and why.
That is Anjanette Levy. Anjanette is a reporter with the Law and Crime Network. She was on the ground in Moscow after the murders and spoke to producer Jeff Shane.
You were in Moscow following the murders. What was it like?
When you go to Moscow, Idaho, it's just this quiet college town. Not much happens there. The police department is tasked basically with keeping college kids safe, making sure they're not doing anything too crazy while they're drinking. And it just kind of shatters this sense of security that people living there had, especially among the college students. So many of them, even when I went there, were staying in their dorms and what have you to finish their classes remotely. Because that's one of the things the university did, was offer the kids remote classes so they wouldn't have to go out and about while this was ongoing. So I think it put a lot of pressure on the Moscow Police Department. They brought in the Idaho State Police. They brought in the FBI to assist. This was too big for them. And, you know, to their credit, they realized that. But it would be too big for a lot of departments, even departments that are used to handling homicide investigations. You have 4 kids. That's 4 cell phones. That's 4 distinct crime scenes within one home and video from all over to analyze. So this was a big task.
How quickly do you think that they realize when you see a crime scene of this magnitude, this is a big deal? Does that happen immediately, you think?
Oh, I think they knew that walking into it. I think the minute they saw the amount of blood in the house, and everything we had heard was that there was a tremendous amount of blood in this home. We're talking about one of the victims, Xana Kernodle. Her father told a news outlet in Arizona that she fought. So she fought her attacker. There were defensive wounds. We're talking about people being stabbed in different parts of their torsos and other locations. That's a lot of blood. And plus they laid there for hours until someone was called, until 911 was called. So that's a lot of time for someone to lay there and basically bleed out.
But the gruesome details of the murder and the confused messages from public officials only stoked concerns.
These posts on the university's Facebook page. Why is there not a huge manhunt going on? And killer still at large. How can you reassure us the kids are safe?
The school posting this notice on social media Monday, writing increased security will be on site for the remainder of the semester.
The search for a killer now in its 3rd week. Police say they still have no suspect or murder weapon in the deaths of 4 Idaho college students.
Let's stop here for another break. As investigators cataloged hundreds of pieces of evidence and sorted through thousands of tips, the University of Idaho held vigils and a memorial service to remember Kaylee, Madison, Xana, and Ethan.
Well, hundreds gathered today in Post Falls for a memorial service for Kaylee, Madison, Xana, and Ethan.
The world is a darker place without them. But the light of their love and memories will always guide us all.
Anyone who knew Kaylee would tell you the same thing. To know her was to love her. Her love for life and everyone in it was so inspiring. She made it a priority to make everyone feel so important and so loved, which is such a very rare and beautiful trait.
There was never a day that she didn't want to race her brother because she was just determined that girls were faster than boys, or that she didn't want to go bug her little sisters and make sure they knew that she was older and they were the little sisters. Kaylee is a huge part of our family. The dynamics of our family will never be the same.
Maddie is truly.
Listen to that poor mother. And there are people out there that took their Facebook page down. The one place that this grieving mother had to be able to communicate with other mothers that have experienced things that, like her. And people just mass reported it. And I'm still trying to figure out how we can get it back for them. Only thing I could think of is just to go and do the report. That's what I did earlier, but I don't know if that will get to him fast enough.
You've been a blessing in our lives. Watching her grow and mature into the amazing woman she become is truly priceless in our hearts. She was the world to us. Favorite memory for me was watching the game with her, and every time the Steelers scored, I'd pick her up, and I'd hold her high in the air, and we'd celebrate together. And she'd always just laugh so hard at that. We'd just crack up and have a great time.
Santa, you will not be forgotten. You have impacted so many lives and have given people so much love. I hope I can make you proud and try to leave an impact on this world and on people like you did.
If you knew Ethan, he was never angry about anything. He would never get upset. He had such an infectious smile and a charismatic personality.
Nearly 3 weeks after the murders, we still do not have a suspect profile at this time.
For 24 days, the investigation seemed to be making little progress. Family and media publicly criticized investigators.
I do not feel confident, and that's why I hate to be that guy. But everybody has a job and a role to play in this. This is my role as a parent.
Then, on December 7th, police announced a break in the investigation.
Breaking news in the investigation into the murders of the 4 University of Idaho students. Just within the last hour, Moscow police have released the first potentially significant information regarding evidence connected in this case. Detectives announced just minutes ago that they are interested in talking to the person or people in a white 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra.
Moscow police said a white
Elantra.
Elantra car was seen near the home on King Road during the early hours of November 13th.
Moscow police say the person or people in that car may have critical information regarding the case.
But behind the scenes, the investigation had discovered other potentially important evidence. This included a single piece of male DNA. It was found on the button snap of the tan knife sheath found on the bed where Kaylee and Madison were killed. Though they didn't announce it publicly, police were on the brink of an arrest.
We have breaking news in the murders of 4 Idaho college students. 48 days after those gruesome murders, authorities making an arrest.
In the early morning hours of Friday, December 30th, approximately 50 officers and FBI agents stormed a single-family home in the foothills of the Pocono Mountains.
In conjunction with the Pennsylvania State Police, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, detectives arrested 28-year-old Brian Christopher Kohlberger in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, on a warrant for murders of Ethan, Zana, Madison, and Kaylee.
This morning, authorities putting a face to the fear.
According to police, Kohlberger's home in Pennsylvania had been under surveillance for days. In the driveway, a white Hyundai Elantra, exactly like the one investigators had been looking for.
Police linked Kohlberger to the crime in part through DNA technology and tracked through his car.
Brian Kohlberger grew up in Pennsylvania and dreamt of being a police officer.
In a chilling twist, police say the alleged killer studies criminology at Washington State University in Pullman.
In the fall of 2022, Kohlberger began a PhD program in Pullman, Washington. This was just 8 miles from the home on King Road where Madison, Kaylee, Zana, and Ethan were murdered.
He's being very calm. He's very aware. He understands the proceedings.
Kohlberger indicated to his Pennsylvania attorney, Monroe County Public Defender Jason Labar, that he was innocent.
Brian was very shocked by his arrest, did not know why they were there, but Brian indicated to me that he was eager to be exonerated.
Some of those who know Brian Kohlberger were shocked at the arrest. Others weren't surprised.
But she said to me, "Did you hear about Brian?" And I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about." She said, "Turn on the news." And then I was like, oh my God. But with that said, I was shocked, but it made sense.
More on that next time.
Okay, let me get the banner down. So this has, oh, I put me small. I forgot. Let me put me big again. There I am. There are how many episodes to this podcast? There's a few. I mean, there's a good bit. Let me go back. 1, 2, 3. There's 6 in season 5, and then they're on season 6. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's like 14. It looks like altogether. And so I'm gonna we'll play like 1 or 2 a night, and then we'll like I'll put in some, reading stuff involved in it, and bring it into a whole show. Because it breaks down the case pretty well. And then there was another podcast that we listened to. So we listened to 2 on the channel that I know of that we listened to from like the beginning to the end. And they were, this one here is called the Idaho Massacre. And it says Murders on King Road, the Idaho Massacre. The other one that we would listen to is the Idaho Murders. Let me check. Because they're both really good. And I thought we could listen to them like, back to back or whatever. And then I even know like Nancy did some really good videos during this time. So yeah, the King Road Killings is the other one. And they are, see, that's so weird because they're like NBC 2020 and all that. But I can stream them all day long. But when it comes to 2020, they always get you. I was going to see if I could see if there's any new ones on here because this one has been dropping newer episodes. We watched one not too long ago. Sorry, my leg was itching if I was making a funny face. My calf's itchy. Let's see. They don't have any new ones yet, but they did have 2 in 2025. They had one March 28th and then one March 15th. So, but yeah, we'll watch those. We'll get into that. Oh, look, the dog's sitting by the balloons. She's like, oh, you can't see because it's the comments up there, but she's like blends into the floor. Are you ready to go out there? You just look really sweet. She is a very sweet dog. I have been watching these dogs. Oh my gosh. I've been watching these dogs on YouTube Shorts and I need to stop because I'm about to like get somebody to customize me some doggy bunk beds and everything because these dogs have doggy bunk beds and they look so cute in them. And now I feel like I need one like right here or like maybe in the corner. I don't know. I need a doggy bunk bed for my dogs or maybe back there. You want a doggy bunk bed? They look awfully cool. You can get on the top bunk. This is what we talk. This is what we do all day. I talk to my dogs like that. I'm like, what can we get for you? What can we do for you to make your life a little easier? Wouldn't that be cute? It's this couple and they have 2 huskies and then they have 2 labs and they're like the cutest dogs ever. Other than mine, of course, But no, they're really cute dogs. And like one of them's name's Blue and he's like the main character. And like she calls him in the room. She's like, Blue, selfie. The dog runs in the bedroom, closes the bedroom door, and then runs up on his sister and like puts his paws on her like shoulders and then puts his head like on top of her head for like a picture. I'm like, this dog is so cute. Ah, I'm like, so cute. You could always use a doggy bunk bed, right, Austin? And I could put their names on it. Oh, see, I'm getting carried away. I will pull everything out of that closet and make this into their own little room. It's like a walk-in closet. I could see me doing that. I could see me doing that. This actually used to be their room. This whole room used to be theirs. But we got rid of their dog kennels. They had dog kennels. We were working along. We were walking. I was working 8 hours. Vincent was working 8 hours a day, and it was so sad. I felt so bad putting them in the kennels. Okay, Willows. Awesome. Thank you. But yeah, dogs are crazy though. They're crazy. But I probably would get them the beds and then they'd still want to be in our bed. That's how it is. They just want to be wherever I'm at. Like, yeah, baby girl. My dogs understand the assignment with me. They're like, just always be around her. I don't know. They're always around me. They're always, but we got a new dog that moved in downstairs and I saw a big kennel come in. So I'm like, oh, that's going to be a big dog. Cause I heard the dogs barking. So I put I was able to put the blinds down because our birds moved out. So I put the blinds down and the dog didn't bark anymore. So hopefully I kenneled her and it wasn't Mia that was really a problem. Like she would go in the same kennel as Araya. Like the kennels were so big that both dogs could fit in one and they could both lay down and like have room. And they were huge. Like two of them fit like right here. That was like all that fit in here. And we did that for, I don't know, probably like 6 months or so or a year. And then I was putting my dog in one day. I was putting Araya in and she's from the Humane Society. So like she really doesn't like the cage. And like I could tell it was like affecting her, you know? And so one day I pushed her in and her paw got caught underneath the thing and she made this like sad noise. And oh my gosh, after that, I was like crying and I was like, I had to leave to go to work. But I didn't want to leave her because she was like just like babying her paw. And I'm like, what do I do? I was like torn, you know, like, what do I do? And so I was like, she'll be okay. And I went to work. And then I would say a week after that is when I quit. I was like, and I told Araya, I said, if you can get on the schedule, girl, if we can get you on a schedule, wow, we don't need to lock you, you know what I mean? Because like, gotta get you on schedule. I was like, I'll throw the cages away. So we did 3 months of like intense training, like with our dogs. They were always good about telling us when they needed to go to the bathroom and stuff, but it was just getting them on that schedule, like where they would go at the same time, you know? And it wasn't like taking one dog out and then one dog out. So yeah, now they're the greatest. They're the greatest dogs. My dogs sleep with me on my bed too, Jenna. Vincent doesn't even sleep in the bed half the night anymore. Because the dogs take his spot. Like she thinks that's her spot. Like she genuinely does. Like she gets mad at him for sitting there. I need to take videos of them and then do voiceovers because it would be so funny. Because we have a cat too, you know, and the dog will bark at the cat like so mean, and the cat just stands there and looks at her like, "You'll scare me." They are little bed hogs. Well, this one has to be on the pillows. So then the other one is, you know, down a little further. And then we got the cat. He likes to get in the bed now. I'm like, why are you wanting to come over here and hang out all of a sudden? Or he'll sleep under Vincent's legs, which I think is super cute. He likes Vincent. I don't know why he likes Vincent so much when he's my cat. He's a boy. He wants to be with the boys. That's what I tell him. No, Vincent takes good care of that cat. I think he takes better care of the cat than I do half the time. Just kidding. Just kidding. My dog's always slept in the bed. They've always been, you know, they've always slept in bed with us and wherever they want to sleep, wherever they want to sit. We have a white couch too, like a cream colored couch. If you think you want a cream colored couch because you're like going to keep it clean, you're not going to. You can shampoo it every day of your life. You could pray over it. You could put some holy water on it. These dogs, I swear my dog needs to be like fully cleaned when she comes in. Your tiny dog thinks the bed's hers. That's how our dogs do too. We just move over for them. Like I sleep in the weirdest positions because of the animals, you know. Oh, Oliver and Phoenix, that's cute. I like whenever they have like human names, like I don't know, like dog named Dave or something. Like I don't know why, I just like that. Or like I was like watching a video short the other day. It was like, or when like babies have like old people's names. I think that's really cute too. Like Esther, and it's like a baby, little baby Esther. I want to get another dog, but I can't. I want to get a cat. I want to get a cat because I want Rocky to teach the kitten like tricks and things, you know, like just feel like I need another like I need Rocky to train another animal before he goes, you know. I've had my cat since I was 22. I'll be 40 this year. So yeah, when that cat goes, it'll be a day, let me tell y'all. But he's so healthy, like so healthy. Squeaky, I'm gonna ask him to come on. We just gotta give him like maybe like a glass of wine or something. The cat on a sailboat. Oh, yeah, no, not me. 2 dogs and 2 outdoor kittens. We have 2 outdoor kittens here. Well, they're not kittens anymore, but they've been here ever since we've lived here. Like the orange one's been here for 8 years. I'm like, that thing's old. And then Vincent found out today, which is cool, that there's a doctor that lives next door. And I'm like, that's the second doctor that's lived there. Like, I don't know. I think God puts people in their place for a reason, you know? So I told Vincent, if I ever need a doctor, you make sure you go ask her. I don't care. If I'm in need, we ask her. Yeah, that cat's been through half my life. Yeah, Austin. I've literally feel like I've lived like 3 past lives with this cat. Like 21. I don't know if I could handle him that age. He's already an asshole. I know. I really do. I really do want to do a Q&A with Vincent. We'll have to do something. Maybe I can at least get him to do like a pre-recorded, like first time. I just know he'd be so nervous. He'd be the cutest. Oh, he'd be so cute though. Can I kick it? Root beer float, Trader Joe. Pieces is a stoner delight. Petunia's on her last leg. Ashley said she probably. Well, I mean, I think after a certain point, like, you know, animals are probably like you, kind of like humans, probably. Like, are we there yet? You know? Oh my god! Oh my god! I have another. I forgot I brought her in here. She scared me. I forgot my other dog's in here. Are you? Hello? Righty? Oh, I scared her. Oh, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I was just making sure you were okay. I forgot she was back here. That made me laugh. That scared me. What? Mary Beth? Do I need a plane ticket? I feel like I need a plane ticket. I need a plane ticket. Get me on one. You shouldn't have to do that, Mary Beth. And I was complaining about earlier if Vincent ever told me to change my hair color, I would be like, psh. But he never would. She's holding to crap. It reminds me of the Tales from the Crypt guy. Oh, can you hear her when she walks? Because you can hear Rocky. He has a little paw that clicks. And I told Vincent that once, and he was like, no, that's not Rocky. He's in denial that Rocky's getting older. I'm like, no, that's Rocky. You can tell when he's moving around the house. Well, I'm praying for you, Mary Beth. I hate people. Oh, my My cat does that. He'll like make a weird meow like he's lost, and I'll go, Rocky, and then he's fine. What, Mary Beth? Oh my gosh. I feel like I need a puff puff pass now. I think it's been way time. You leave him. We love you over here. I'm getting so angry because I hate men sometimes. Not that one. Not you guys. But him. But him I do, Mary Beth. But him I do. You're such a good person. And if you don't see it, you got to see it. You got to see it. You got to see it. What's that? There's that song by Reba McEntire. What is that song called? I know the words. It's like a really pretty song, and it's about like not living your life. Like you're putting everything to the side for, like you'll get to you next. And it's time for you to get to you now. You do charity stuff. You make the homeless freaking sandwiches, for gosh sake. She's like, sorry, I wasn't in chat tonight. I was just making the homeless sandwiches and whatever else you concoct up and stuff. So you're an amazing person. And Goodbye Earl is actually a great one. We should go with that one. Ash, yeah. I was thinking it's like a really old one. It's like, is there life out there? That's like the song, maybe like so much. There's so much she hasn't done or something like that. I just remember when I hear that song, I used to think of my mom. I used to think of my mom, like, is this her life? Like, is this it? Like, is this it for her? Like, just as kids and her husband? Like, I don't know. I just always thought of my mom, like, wish that my mom would have been able to live a little more life, Like, yeah, listen to the song. Don't cry. It'll make you cry. But it's a great song and you should listen to it because you only have one life. We only have this one life. We don't get another one. And I that's stupid to say, and I know everyone knows that. But every night when I go to bed, y'all, I think of it. I think of that every night, almost. It's scary to think that, but I do. And I'm like, is this my last night? Is this it? Is that it? I really do. And so that's probably why I come home on every night. Come on. So well, we love you, Mary Beth. There are some really good country songs. And I can give you some ones that aren't country that are like rap that could get you pumped up. You just need a drink. You need like a wine, like a glass of wine. I don't know, just something. I don't know. I'd be a mess. Yeah, Mary Beth, call the DV hotline. And even if you just call to talk, you don't have to tell them who you are. It's anonymous. And then you you'll be able to at least talk to somebody. I know my sister-in-law, she used to work at a domestic violence coalition, and she worked there for a long time. I love country love songs, but they always make me cry. Yeah, Carrie, you're right. Right? Yeah, but dealing with it over and over hurts. See, like, you're not stupid, Mary Beth. We'll all help. Just email me, let me know if there's anything I can do tonight for you. You're not stupid. A lot of people stay. A lot of women stay. I mean, and a lot of men. You know what I mean? Both sides. So. There is, Austin. You're right. Like, even if you don't think you'll ever meet someone, you will. Right when you never think you're going to meet them. Or you can be happy by yourself. Can you imagine doing whatever you want whenever you want to do it? Maybe you want to take a day off from work. You could do that. Maybe you want to just hang out with your kids for the day. You could do that. Maybe you don't want to cook. You could do that. Yeah. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. Sorry. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. Okay. I did my singing for the night on YouTube. Yeah, you're not alone. It's crazy. I mean, there how many people have been through it. I never have yet, and I'm 64, and I can do what I want when I want. Yeah, don't say Mary Beth. This is too much. Men are just some men. They didn't. I don't know who raised them. I'll tell you who didn't. Haru Florio. That's who. That's Vincent's mom. She's a great woman. Oh, baby girl. Yeah, that's Reba's song. Yeah. I love me some Reba. I used to love Reba McEntire. And I loved all of her music. I don't know why I was singing her music at like 10 years old, but I was jamming. I was jamming to that. I really was. Actually, like that whole tape. We had it in cassette tape. DM, you're absolutely right. I feel like. Oh man, makes me sad. Well, I'm going to jump off here, but if you need me, email me. I'll have my phone with me, so I'll have everything like right around my area. I'm going to go make sure that dogs don't need to, go OUT. Seem like they're doing okay. And the one's not even scared of the balloons anymore. Yeah, that's what you need. You need a plan. Like, make a plan. We need a vision board. Yeah. You have to want to leave. I mean, oh my Lord, have mercy. Well, I'm going to jump off here. I'll be back tomorrow night. I'll be back actually probably tomorrow during the day, maybe. All right, what's tomorrow? Sunday? Maybe. I want to get the Discord and the emojis done. That's what I was working on tonight. I have a room in Discord and like I've got all that stuff set up, but I just got to figure out how to do like the messaging and stuff and like make it password protected. But Vincent's going to help me with that tomorrow. And then I was looking and I didn't see anybody really live on the YouTube. Just the same old, same old. I mean, same old, same old. But yeah, tomorrow's Sunday. I keep thinking tomorrow's Monday for some reason. Oh wait, actually Monday, Vincent's off too. Forgot. It's Memorial Day weekend. Well, I hope you guys have a good night. Mary Beth, get a hold of me if you need me. If you need bail money or anything at all, get a hold of me. Just say it on the line when they say put your name in. If you get, they'll say the county, whatever it says, say your name after the beep. Just say, hey, I need you. And we'll figure out where you're at and we'll come get you. But we care about you. There's a lot of people in this chat right now that really do care about you, Mary Beth. And we don't want nothing to happen to you. But thank you for being here tonight, guys. I appreciate you so much. I'll be back on tomorrow at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless it's 9:35. Sometimes I do that, but it should be 9:15. But thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a